everyone. How are you? So great to see you again live on our 28 Days of Health. You guys, we are so excited about some of the movement that we're seeing. And I think you guys are excited too, whether it's sharing this video, whether it's putting in your own lifestyle photos. The fact that you can create awareness, community, immunity, right? With your own Facebook page, that you can create more contacts with individuals. And these social contacts that we're making are so incredibly powerful, not just because it gives us a sense of value to be working with someone, but we often can step back, especially after two plus weeks of working on ourselves, feeling better. You just can't help but brag about it, right? The idea here is that if we take a step back after all of that, and we kind of see the ripple effect of what happens, we realize that so many people are impacted by what started with a small step in our health and moved into something incredible. In fact, I just got a great message from my friend Kitty, who talked about receiving an award recently for support in business, for support in weight loss, for helping other individuals really create their wellness story, building it out through design. And one of the things that she shared with me is that Kitty wasn't just excited about what that about the honor, right, and the work that she had put in and that self discovery, but in fact about the impact, what that would represent to someone else. That she was representing health to other people. She was representing, or that award for her represents a new step towards enhancing other people's lives. So I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you that is stepping outside of your comfort zone, that is stepping out into new practices, new routines, finding yourself in a place of discipline, creating habit, and then ultimately inspiring change and passionate adoption of health practices in other people. It's a fantastic thing for me to watch. It's very exciting, I think, for all of you to be a part of. But that's not why you turned in tonight. Why you turned in tonight was to get the skinny on detoxification, right? The idea here is what are some of the best principles for detoxification? I have to tell you, one of the first things that someone says to me when I say, we should talk about detoxification, they go, do I really need to detox? And I go, well, I don't know, maybe not in a Betty Ford kind of way, but yeah, you gotta detox. Your water is toxic, right? There's new to nature chemicals, molecules that are found in our food, our water, the air that we breathe. A number of new chemicals are introduced into commerce every year. And while to be fair, right, those new to nature molecules that are introduced into commerce every year have been tested for their impact on human beings, at the end of the day, they've never been studied for their impact in combination on human beings, plant life, the earth, your family, your pets, right? And so we need to think about not the overwhelm that comes from such thoughts, but instead, what is within my control? What is it that I can do that can create health, that can create well being, not just for me, but moving into my family and then ultimately moving into my community? The second thing that I hear is that I don't know if I want to detox. Does it hurt? Right? I don't know if I want to detox. Is it hard? I don't know if I want to go through a detox. I'm not sure I'd be good at it, right? And so we really have to uncover, why do you even want to try? What is it that brought you to that place where you say, I think I need to detox. Or what brought you to the conversation where someone else has said, I think we need to get started with a detox. The reason why I ask is because it's one of the things that can, one, help you figure out what kind of detox you should be following. Second, is your why big enough to do such a detox, right? And three, really to counsel or coach on whether or not you're going to get the benefits from that detox. So, we should put a couple of the reasons why people detox out there. The holiday season. How about lots of family fun, whether you're doing that through Zoom or you're watching the game on TV. Maybe there's a parade, or there's just Hallmark movies. I don't know, right? But it's going to be binge food, binge TV, right? Binge relaxation and family time, right? So, for some of those reasons, that's a big reason why people will think about a detox. So, one of the things that I want you to kind of put a pin in is, do I detox before full on debauchery, or do I always just wait and detox later? There's an answer. What about weight loss? Do we detoxify because we want to lose some weight? It just might help. Detoxification is profoundly beneficial for cleansing the palate, for helping people understand how sweet maybe some of the foods that they were eating were. To identify that, well, at the end of the day, food tastes good. You don't need to cover it in sauces, right? You just weren't tasting the food well. One of the things I always try to do when someone wants to detoxify to jumpstart a weight loss program, weight management, fat burning, whatever we want to call it, is to also focus on kind of a purge of negative thoughts. You guys, we should also think about a detox, not just in what the liver, the gallbladder, the lymphatics, the kidneys, the skin, the bowels do for us. We should also think about detox in other ways. Do you need to detox from TV? Do you need to detox from bad self-talk? Do you need to detox from a confrontational situation, or something that's persistently nagging or problematic for you, right? We often have to think not just about physical detoxes, we often have to think about mental and emotional detoxes. And so when someone wants to lose weight, and that's the reason why they're going on a detox, or at least want to get started there, I'm always going to say, let's also talk about your stress factors, your sleep factors, and your social structure. Let's make sure that we're detoxifying all of the planes that we need to be detoxifying. Why is it important to do that? In fact, it's not just important if there's weight loss involved, right? It's important across the board if you want to make a new habit, if you want to stay on track, right? Because negative self-talk is a very real thing. Hearing other people's negative talk is a very problematic thing. It's interesting, we love ourselves so much, and yet we hold other people's opinion of us in higher regard often, right? And that's one of the things that can very much derail you on some of your success strategies. So across the board, I'm going to say that a mental detox is also very effective. But weight loss is one of the number one reasons why people will want to focus on two sides of that detoxification coin. What if it's not really that it was like a binge with the family, right? Or it's just been like utter debauchery because you let go during stay at home work hours, right? Maybe it had nothing to do with that. That does remind me, though. We just broke out of Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. And I saw this fantastic meme that said, do we really need to celebrate Halloween this year? I mean, I've been eating candy and wearing a mask for the last 7 months. I'm not really sure I need a day for this anymore, right? So sometimes it's just lifestyle has just really gotten there. We see this a lot with fitness, that someone was really good at the fitness habit for a period of time, and it may even be for a very long period of time. And then something changes, whether it's mindset, whether it is the gym isn't available, they're no longer paying for that membership. There was an injury and they need to get back into healthy movement, right? So I also want us to think about other changes of life that derail other aspects of our life. Have you ever found yourself on that side of the issue, right? Where something's happened and then you've thrown in the towel on everything else? There's an injury, so I guess I can't exercise anymore. And if I can't exercise, then I probably don't need to eat healthy, right? Because I injured myself and I should be comforted, right? There's all kinds of things that we do. So, first, I want to remind you that regardless of the reason why you want to detox, that there's more than one way to do it, right? I want to focus on the discipline, not of detox, but the discipline of changing habits. Sometimes means that we need to take a detox from many of the bad habits that we had, like watching TV, drinking sugar, drinking alcohol, um, some of the lack of natural movement, that a detox can start with fitness, right? And then can move into something that you see a little a little bit more difficult to do. Plenty of people find it more difficult to change their diet than they do to work out, right? So we all tend to have strengths and weaknesses, and we should be playing to our strengths. And the reason why is that we want those small rewards. We want to be rewarded in the next step that we're going to take. We also want to appreciate that it's never going to be as hard as you thought it was going to be when we're talking about a nutritional detoxification, right? When we're talking about detoxifying from an unhealthy environment, when we're talking about detoxifying from just an unhealthy lifestyle. Mental detoxifications can be harder, right? And bad habit detoxifications, it's not that they're hard, but as a human race, right? A humanity loves their rewards. And so sometimes we make bargains with ourselves. If I do this, then I'll do that. So, what we want to do is first step, appreciate that there's more than one way to detoxify, that we may focus on some of the physical aspects of detoxification, mental, emotional aspects, getting our head in the game of detoxification, or we may want to go straight to nutritional detox, right? Changing diet, doing a full 180 from where we're at today. All of them are great because the first thing that you need to do is get started, right? So that's what we want to pay attention to. Now, one of the reasons why I get concerned when people start asking a lot of questions about should I, could I don't know, right? Is that I get concerned for them, I guess, because I think a lot of people think detoxification means some like major weird juice cleanse where you're adding cayenne pepper, right? Some kind of green drink. That didn't work out the way I planned, right? Some kind of like super juice or something like that where you have to do something weird. Excuse me. Where you have to do something weird. Um, that's not the case. In fact, detoxification can be pretty simple, right? It can start where we started together on day one, getting more hydration. By sufficiently hydrating, by adequately hydrating, you're getting everything started. You're doing what they say, flushing everything out. And making sure that you're staying hydrated is one of the best ways to do that. What's different about just getting hydrated when it comes to a detox is that you need to understand a little bit more about where your caffeine consumption is, your sugar consumption, your alcohol consumption, right? Because what we're trying to do is not just get hydrated, we're also trying to counter some of those things. We're trying to create a space that gives us a different choice. right? So instead of reaching for alcohol during a detox program, instead of reaching for sugar or easy foods, right? Instead of the caffeine in the morning, that we're reaching for water or that we're reaching for something that's going to create a new space. I'll give you another example. So, one of the things that's really easy to do when someone feels overwhelmed, they've got a lot of work on their plate, they're trying to just get through it, is that we often say, I need something, right? For me to continue doing this, I need something, right? Now, I'll often tell people, that's fine, let's get up and walk around. Let's see if you still need it after you get up and walk around, right? Get some blood flowing, your lymphatics flowing, get some oxygen and blood flow to the brain. And if you still want to do it, right? Then let's figure out what the three things you can choose are, right? What is that thing that we could give you that's going to help you stay on your detox, but is going to allow you to feel like you rewarded yourself? Again, what we're doing here is we are creating a space so that we don't have this open vacuum, right? So our detox week, our detox 2 weeks is not a vacuum of, oh, I'm missing out on something. I just don't feel like this is going as smoothly as I want. So now I'm just going to go down to a vending machine. So knowing that these vacuums can take place or can pop up, right? We need to make sure that we've got three things that we can do. I think I've shared with you one of the things that I do because I love ice cream. One of the things that I do is I take a TLS nutrition shake. I put complete greens in it, powdered complete greens in it, and a little bit of mocha tonics. That creates for me an icy, kind of very frothy shake for me. Now, I want to freeze it or I want to put it over ice or something like that. So I can appreciate that this isn't something that's maybe just out of the gate unless you're just good drinking it cold. But what I've done there, or what I've helped other people do, is to identify if that's what you're looking to do, to go with that sweet tooth. You get up, you walk around, you get blood to the brain, and then you say, nope, still want the ice cream, right? Then let's find something that can fill that vacuum. Let's find something that can fill that space, right? It may be creating something. Just I want something sweet on my tongue. I want just something sweet, something that feels like a treat. Now, personally, this happens to me all the time, and so one of the things that I do, besides getting up and walking around, is I'll say, well, I mean, what I do is I end up saving my collagen, which is sweet tasting. It's kind of a sweet sour taste. So if you like sweet tarts, you're going to love the collagen. I'll do that because I just don't do collagen in the morning. I know that at some point I'm going to throw up my hands. I know at some point I'm going to go, right? And as a result of that, I want to make sure that I'm in great company. So I've got collagen to be you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kind of fill this vacuum with something that's also good for me, but is sweet. And the difference here, you guys, with running down to a vending machine or going to get something else, is that I've made a deal with myself, right? I don't want to call it a contract. It is stronger to call it a covenant, right? That I've made a deal with myself that this is how I'm going to handle these things. And what's happened there is I've addressed the problem before it comes up. I'm not sitting there in the vacuum, or my patients will not be sitting there in the vacuum going, now what do I do? We've already talked about the obstacle. We've already discovered that this is a reality, and that when this happens, this is your next step. This is what you're going to do. Now, if you get to that place where the pseudo ice cream isn't really doing it for you, right? You get to that place where maybe this is early on in your detoxification, or early on in a weight management program, or early on in a new eating program. Are you going to fall off the rails sometimes? Yeah. Just try to stay as close to the rails as you can. So identify prior to that vacuum opening up where you're just going to do whatever you want to do anyway, and identify if your work has a cafeteria like mine does, right, where there's a space where you could actually get food, or you could feel like you walked and you cleared your head and you got a little reward or something like that. Know what you're going to do there, right? Don't walk into that space with the vast options, everything from M&Ms to, ice cream bars, and say, well, I don't know, let me choose, and I'll try to make a good decision. Know what some of those options are so you can go straight there and do that. Okay, so those are some of the ways that we deal with the vacuum just opened up, right? We're drinking more water, but we know that there's going to be some level of an issue where we're still going to feel like we want a reward. Again, that's why we always have to work on that mental detox, not just the physical detox. Now, I've already mentioned the next thing that you do besides drinking water, and that is movement, right? One of the easiest ways that we can create healthy detoxification is by allowing our lymphatics to get all of the pump that they need. See, here's the deal. You've got vessels that are running throughout the body called the lymphatics. And unlike your circulatory system, your veins and your arteries, there is no pump like the heart. There is no pump that's going to get rid of toxins through the lymphatics. Unless you'll appreciate with me that your muscles are the pump. So you need to get them moving. Not only does this get blood flow to the brain for better judgment and better productivity, it allows your lymphatics to also get the pump that they need, right? Now, if it's something where you just want to stimulate some lymphatics, there are even ways that you can do that. You're sitting down. I want you to be moving. I want you to get up and actually move. But you can rub from the lower abdomen up to above the liver, underneath the breastbone. Move over from your right to your left, down again, and just rubbing in a circle. Now, this is just pretty much working on the lymphoid tissue around the intestines, right? It's incredibly comforting. You guys know what my comfort spot is now, right? I told you that I put my hand on my belly when I get stressed out. So you can, in fact, do this, but probably one of the more effective ways that you can do this besides physical manipulation is deep breathing. Deep breathing doesn't just improve blood pressure, heart rate, even blood sugars when done consistently, right, as a way to modulate those things. But deep breathing is also very beneficial from a detoxification standpoint, right? So breathing in and breathing out, whether that is a mantra that you tell yourself, you're going to breathe good cleansing air in, you're going to breathe all the negative out, right? But literally, you're actually doing some lymphatic work when you're doing deep diaphragmatic, down from the belly breathing, right? So the point of me bringing this up is that you already have within your grasp some detoxification practices that you've already started. You just don't know that you've already set your body up for detoxification. Bringing me back to my point of, do I just wait till debauchery's over and then detox, right? No, you maintain certain practices every day so that the impact of, I don't know, Sunday football eating doesn't end up landing like a lead balloon, right? Doesn't end up landing with that heavy weight. But you're actually already pretty well conditioned to deal with that from a gastrointestinal standpoint, right? You're already able to eject or evacuate, right? Movement is going to help you do that. Deep breathing, obviously staying very hydrated. So you're already well on your way to not get hit like a Mack truck when it comes to eating poorly, if that's what's going to happen over any kind of family holiday celebratory season, right? But now we're going to move into what happens after all of that, when you really need some of the heavy lifters. And you may be surprised to know that the heavy lifters in detoxification are minerals, antioxidants, and botanicals, in that order. And many people will focus on a colon cleanse. They'll focus on botanicals that are very purgative and will rid the bowels of waste, right? And that is only one aspect of detoxification. And it's quite frankly one of the reasons why so many people are afraid to do a detox, right? Because they think they're going to be holding on to the the door of their bathroom and that they're afraid to leave, right? When in fact, detoxification requires more of the internal aspects of detoxification, meaning literally binding, neutralizing, and then eliminating toxins. This happens when your liver is properly built, meaning it is properly supplied or fueled with antioxidants and minerals. So, first and foremost, minerals are what do the heavy lifting in most of our detoxification. Everything from allowing our hormones to pass the way they're supposed to, ultimately metabolize to our best benefit, right? And then be bound and leave the body the way they're supposed to. Bring me back to hormones. Minerals are doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to natural detoxification switches in the body so that you can bind, also called conjugation, ultimately prevent reabsorption of toxins and then ultimately eliminate them. So it's phase one. There's this pass to phase two, which is elimination. And minerals are doing the heavy lifting in that detoxification. So this is why getting more greens in your diet, more reds in your diet, more yellows and oranges in your diet is so beneficial. It's why many people will go on a greens cleanse, right? Or a juicing fast or a blended solution, right? This is why we often will see people not just move to blander foods. Again, the purpose of blander foods is frankly to get away from sauces and the things that don't belong in there, right? When in fact, your dry pantry, right, your spices, which is what's in the bottom of this drink, are actually hugely beneficial, right? So think about your pantry items, your dry spices, the dry goods, I guess is the way to say that, right? Not packaged foods in your pantry, but dry goods. This is one of the ways that we can support detoxification, getting foods to taste good again. But the idea here is that it's minerals that actually do a lot of this heavy lifting. So this is why green drinks, this is why um, different smoothies, spicy even, and detoxification drinks are really a prudent way to go, as long as on the other side of it, you're making sure that you're getting your energy needs met as well. Many people will try to detoxify and still exercise the way they've always exercised. And while that's possible, if you exercised before, you can exercise in a detox, right? But you do need to make sure that you're getting enough of your energy needs met. So, individuals with blood sugar concerns or people that are really working out heavy will still maintain their protein sources. They're just going to do it, they're going to make sure that they do it with clean protein sources. And then ultimately, not get into that place where they're like, well, now what, afterwards I can do whatever I want, which is the other concern that I have when people detox. Not that they just think about the colon detox and they're uncomfortable and they don't deal with the real nature of what the liver, the gallbladder, the lymphatics need from us to healthfully detoxify, to properly detoxify, because many of those colon botanicals don't have the minerals that even really allow you to properly bind toxins so that you can get rid of them through the colon. The other issue I often will run into, or I'm concerned about running into with individuals that detox, is that not that they're doing it for the wrong reason, but they're doing it for a short term reason, right? They feel a little bit bloated right now. They feel really puffy. They want to lose, I don't know, 2.5, 5 pounds, right? Because I always have to ask that person, well, what are you going to do after the detox? Like next week, what are you going to do, right? Are you just back at it, right? Because that's going to be a problem, right? What we're trying to do is instill healthy habits, and those healthy habits in everybody. So one of the easiest ways that you can do a detoxification without feeling like all of a sudden you need to be shopping at the farmer's market and you can't wear your high heels anymore, and you just needed to like, you're gonna go get a ranch somewhere and you're just gonna have a completely different life now because you eat clean, right? Instead of feeling like that, how about we start with more hydration? Definitely movement, lymphatic movement, through both physical movement as well as lymphatic or deep breathing. And then we're going to focus on the minerals, right? Through healthy dietary choices and mineral supplementation. We're going to focus on antioxidants, in particular, powerful antioxidants like curcumin, polyphenols that are found like pycnogenol or grapeseed extract, right? We're going to focus on antioxidants like vitamin C. We want to focus on antioxidants like beta carotene, right? So we want to think about the mixture of a multivitamin, multimineral, and antioxidant. One of the powerful antioxidants that I want you to consider is curcumin. Curcumin is quite unique, and the one I use is curcumin extreme, partially because it has not just three curcuminoids in it, but it also has broccoli seed extract in it. And broccoli, sulfur enzymes, sulfonarases, they're also enzymes that they excite called glucuronidases. Um, um, Broccoli, like cabbage, is one of the more powerful detoxification foods that you can eat. And so that's what's in the bottom here is greens and curcumin. Right now, the curcumin is obviously opened up, and it does want to settle at the bottom of my glass. This was in true confession. This was me trying out some mocktail um, recipes for the TLS program where they're doing healthy weight loss over the holidays, right? 12 days of healthy TLS. And one of the things that they're doing is creating mocktails with supplements so that you look like you're drinking wine, you look like you're having a Long Island iced tea, you look like you're having a brandy, but instead you're having a mocktail made with healthy ingredients like OPC3 or ORAC. Well, in my case, it's complete greens and in the isotonic form and curcumin and immunity. And so I tried to make a Long Island iced tea. It didn't work, right? It tastes delicious. And opening up a curcumin is not for the weak of heart. So just so you know. Um, but it gives it that spicy kind of mocktail. I don't. Oh, maybe I'll make it, now that I said spicy, maybe instead of it being a Long Island iced tea, maybe my mocktail instead is going to be a Bloody Mary. I could pull off a Bloody Mary with that because it's kind of gunky looking. So Bloody Marys are gunky looking. I just figured it out. Thanks for helping me, right? But the idea here is that those botanical or those antioxidants are hugely beneficial to help you detoxify. And then botanicals. And botanicals do have specific targets. Whether it's liver detoxification, like milk thistle, you might also know it as silymarin. Whether it's bilberry for blood flow and kidney detoxification, right? Whether it's ginkgo for blood flow, all of these things can be very beneficial to quench free radicals, ultimately get rid of them, quench and neutralize toxins, and ultimately get rid of them. I had shared with you that there are some different products that I just will not be without. And for me, Oxygen Extreme is one of those. It's a powerful detoxifier, right? With silymarin, ginkgo biloba, bilberry, beta carotene, green tea. Um, those are some of the things that are really beneficial for detoxification. But where I find it doing its best work for me is if you tend to hold on to water. Now, I can't promise you you're going to have the exact same response I do, but it's a comprehensive detoxification formula. Oxygen Extreme may help you if one of the ways you feel like, I just feel like I need to detox, right? Is if you feel like you get slightly puffy or like you're holding on to water. I definitely use it for that if I'm on my feet for a long period of time. But I also find that Oxygen Extreme is very helpful for me to manage this fluctuation, that little bit of fluctuation of weight that I notice in my menopausal years, right? So we're not talking about a 15-pound change. We're talking about that 2 to 5 pounds that many people will go on a detox because they just want to quickly lose. And one of the things that I have found to be very beneficial is to just be a regular user of Oxygen Extreme. So there's a lot of different ways to detox. First and foremost, you identify the practices that you're willing to do every day, because you don't need to detoxify every day, but you do need to detoxify your life. Whether that's just with the clean foods that you eat, the words that you speak to yourself and other people, and of course, some of the social interactions that we have. We often need to detox from our digital devices, right? We need to detoxify from some of our bad habits. And when it comes to physical detox, the idea here is to make sure that you know how you're going to fill in the vacuum when things aren't going your way. Pick 3 solutions. Everything from, nope, we're getting down and we're doing planks, to nope, I'm going to walk around the block, to I know I'm going to make my TLS ice cream concoction, or I know I'm going to make a sweet detox drink like this one, which has ORAC, complete greens, vitamin C, and then 1 opened curcumin. You can do different things like that. Like I've got my collagen trick. That's just when I decide to take collagen. And then always make sure that you've got detoxification in your daily regimen somewhere from either curcumin extreme, maybe you're using OPC3 or OPCs for your detoxification, or you love the idea of this very comprehensive um, Oxygen Extreme, right? Which has, works on neutralizing, cleaning up after the party, and really establishing a better detoxification environment. You guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope you identified yourself in one of my detox pictures and you know a little bit better how you're going to move forward. Until I get to see you next time, go be healthy, go be brilliant.